It's election day in Georgia, and we're at the Atlanta NAACP with the president, Mr. Richard Rose. And boy, it's a big day in Georgia, huh?
It's a great big day in Georgia. So we knew it was coming. I think we worked hard to be prepared for this day. We need a great voter turnout all over the state because issues are really what's on the ballot. And the voters determine who's in office, who will address those issues or not address those issues.
I know a lot of people are paying attention or listening to, maybe not paying attention, but listening to these polls, but every vote counts, and we need to get out. Isn't that right?
Absolutely, we need to get out. I caution people about the poll. They poll likely voters. New voters will not be polled because they have no voting history. There are about 1 million new voters. So we're hoping that we reached out to these new voters, get people to come out, take a few minutes, cast your ballot. There are some areas in the state that we're concerned with voter turnout, but we are working hard all over the state with activities, with parties to the poll, with video trucks, canvassers, still working. We're going to work through to about 5 o'clock to push this voter turnout out.
I noticed the NAACP, and so we're really concerned about people that look like us or people of color coming out to vote. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. We have to show who we are. Because not only is our vote powerful, the threat of that vote is powerful. So it would tell us when what we'll demonstrate today will impact what goes on at the next election. How politicians respond to our issues will be reflective of our voting strength.
For those that are sitting, and haven't made it to the polls yet, there's been some changes. There's some things that people need to be aware of when they go to the polls this year, things that are different.
Well, several things are different. Some polling places may have changed. Early voting is over. So you have to go back to your original polling place. Do not go to the early voting place. In fact, some of those early voting locations will not be regular polling places today. So I urge people to go to sos.ga.gov. Go to mvp.sos.ga.gov and put your first initial, last name, date of birth, county you live. It will tell you where you need to go to vote. Make sure you go there. Go early. Don't wait till the end of the day, because if there's any difficulty, you want to be able to get to the right polling place and make sure you cast your vote today.
I know here at the office on the phones earlier, Ms. Renee was talking to some folks here in East Point that they went back to the library, which was an early voting location, but that is not where you vote. You go to your original.
Right. Go to your original precinct, which is probably could be closer than the early voting location, but it should be close to your neighborhood. Make sure you get there. Make sure you take your ID. If you were mailed an absentee ballot and you decided to go to vote in person, take that ballot with you so they can cancel that absentee ballot. And if there are any other issues other than what we talked about, make sure we have a voter protection line, 1-866-OUR-VOTE, 1-866-OUR-VOTE. If you need a ride to the poll, 877-524-VOTE, 877-524-VOTE. Let's make sure we get the vote and take somebody with you.
That's right. Take 5 friends if you can. Ain't that right?
Absolutely.
Take 5.
Truckload.
Truckload. And the numbers again show that we came out for the early, but that's not the finish line.
That's not the finish line. We want to run through the tape. I was looking at the stats. About 40% of registered voters in Fulton County have voted, which is a great turnout. Yes. Now, there are some other counties that not so, that 29%, 14%, 18%. We are still concerned about those, but we have people working in those counties. Let's hope for the best. A turnout is an indication of what people think about democracy, whether they participate or not. It starts with the vote.
This is not your first time, of course, your first rodeo with this. In fact, 2020, you was on the front line, 2018, 2016, 2014. And so how are your overall feelings? I mean, there's a lot of controversy about this election.
Well, I don't pay attention to the controversy. We have work to do. We map out what our activities will be and what they have been. We know what has worked for us in the past. We're going to continue to check all those boxes to see, make sure that we've done everything we can to get people to the polls.
I know you have, Mr. Rose and Mr. President. We appreciate everything that's being done here at the Atlanta NAACP office. One more, we got a phone call earlier about someone who was concerned about their, they may have had a felony. Is there a difference as it relates with the law with that?
Right, but if they have to be registered. If they are off paper, what they're saying, off paper with the felony, if you've completed your time, then you are eligible to go back and register to vote and cast your ballot. If the only conviction you have is a misdemeanor, you don't miss a vote. You just go in and continue to operate, continue to vote, register, and vote early next time. But today, if you are a registered voter, no matter if you have a felony, that means they have checked your record, and know that you are eligible. Cast that ballot today.
Today, make sure you take your ID again, take your driver's license, state ID, and we're going to be going around to some places today and see just how the day is going. And again, we thank you so much for what the Atlanta NAACP does for our folks. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Staying in the fight.
Amen. So, live election coverage right here from the Atlanta NAACP.